All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Let me get this tweeted out real quick here. Da, da, da. No. All right, awesome. Oh wow, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Pretty interesting day today, right? So, just kind of broad picture of the S&P. Uh, 500 index. Here we are. We've had this congestion kind of zone, resistance zone, support zone. We're at a really key level right here in the markets. Okay, so let's not kid ourselves, right? This is important, right? So I know it looks choppy sometimes, and then it looks a little bit crazy, and it's up and it's down, and it's all over the place, right? But I mean, we are in a major level, right? There's a big battle going on between the bulls and the bears, and it's just kind of focusing on this 2800, 20 to 5, like this whole level here. We talk a lot about that in the newsletter, this week, and just kind of want to review real quick. We had last week we had a shooting star on the weekly, right? But it was right into cloud resistance, right? So looked like we had a morning star setup going on yesterday, except it didn't quite get the follow through, and therefore we had kind of a weak candle day. Had a death cross here on the daily 510 MA. Right. I mean, the hourly just kind of choppy at the end of the day. So just lots of stuff going on, right? A couple, fake moves, right? To one side, fake to the other. We had a quite an interesting day today. We gap up a little bit, right, and then faded it, relatively quickly. Came back up again, couldn't break through the levels, held this weekly pivot level, and then, boom to the downside. What a huge move, great move right there. And then just kind of a slow, kind of grindy chop up, right, and then finally got through a little bit of the this 5 minute cloud, and then kind of chopped at the end, right. So, that's kind of just a general look at what's been going on with the markets. So right now we're just kind of key. So we just got this kind of tug of war going between the bulls and the bears at this point, and I think it's possible to go either way, right? If we go to the monthly real quick, some of the newsletter subscribers got this in their private video, but just as a review, right on the monthly, right, we're at a doji right here on the month. Okay, so so this basically is showing pretty much indecision on the month right here. So unless we've only got a couple days left in the month, so chances are we probably end with this kind of doji spinning top, and then next month we might see some kind of follow through action. But like we said in the newsletter, right, it's going to be still a pretty interesting 2019. So we should still have a lot of action to the upside and to the downside, right? So that's what we like as traders, right? So we like to take advantage of moves, right? You know, one way or the other. So anyway, hope everybody had a great trade day today. Like I said, so today we're going to talk about channels, right? So there's a couple different type of channels, that are available. And, sometimes I take for granted when I draw them. You know, we haven't really quite reviewed that yet, so I thought it'd be good to just take a day and just kind of review that today. So there's a couple different type of channels, right? So we've talked about a few. So here, for instance, the Bollinger Bands are a type of channel, right? These are ranges that price can trade in between. Now the Bollinger Bands, just like the Keltner channels, are they're kind of dynamic, right? They're based on a moving average, and they're based on standard deviations. The Keltner channels are based on an exponential moving average, typically, right? Sometimes they're not, but typically exponential. And then the distance of those is not a standard deviation like the Bollinger Bands, but rather they are ATRs, right? So average true ranges, right? So those are channels too that you trade within. And then there's Donchian channels. I don't know if the update, they didn't have Donchian channels in the previous version. Let me see if the new update has that. Donch, not really. Channel. Yeah, they had like an indicator or some sort of Donchian indicator. You can find that in a Donchian channel. Is pretty interesting. It just shows like I believe it just kind of shows averages of ranges or high lows of ranges, and so you can look at that. I think it's on TradingView and a couple other platforms, but it's just interesting. It'd be cool to do a lecture on that. I wish Thinkorswim did have that. Another kind of channel too is the Keltner, the Darvis boxes. These are horizontal channels. Okay, so they basically find a level like a high and a low, and they put your levels there, and that forms a channel for the day, right? And then once you break that channel, right, and then we've done a lesson on Darvis box before, right? That puts you into a new potential channel range. So that's using horizontal channels, right? And so really kind of want to hone in today on for to talk about. We've also talked about these here, right? Remember this? These are linear regression channels, right? These are automatically generated channels that we talked about that you can pull here in the with the regression channel box at the bottom of the screen. typically where the the little hand tool is there, and then it automatically puts the channel in there, just basically taking the averages of all the levels up until where you draw it to. And so what that does is it basically shows you a range that the stock or the index or the price is going between. Okay, so channels can really help our trading in a lot of different ways. So let me find a kind of a clean chart here. Let's see. Let's just do like the hourly chart here. We'll just pick, kind of any kind of random. Maybe put a little bit more space on here. That's 20 days. We'll do 90 days. Okay, so channels, we talk about this a lot. I draw a lot of them when we do our chart requests. Later if I see something stand out. And basically, channels are a great way to encapsulate a trend, right? And so when you look at a stock and you can kind of see like, hey, this is generally moving up, right? A lot of times we draw trend lines and we look for breaks of trend lines, right? So let's say, we were here and that was our high. We would draw like a trend line here and we'd wait for, like a break, for a change in trend. And so here's your break here. And then if that broke to the downside, that was your move, right? So we've done a whole lecture on trend lines before. But what happens if it goes the other direction, right? So you draw, maybe a trend line, let's say like from this point here, like to this point here. And lo and behold, this becomes basically two trend lines, right? And what that does is it creates a channel of movement, for the stock. And it's a great way, if you're trending, to find when the trend changes, or to even trade within the channel too. Just like we use the Bollinger Bands, if we're at the top of the channel, the top of the Bollinger Band, at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, we'll look for an opportunity to go long or to go short, right? So, in this case, we had a channel here, and then you can use this. You can use just a regular channel tool, which is right here without the R on it, and then you can do it automatically, right? So you can say like here, there was a channel there, and then here, and then you can even extend them out. You just right click on it, right, extend to the right, extend to the left, right, basically that way, extend to the right, right, and you kind of get this whole channel here. So here, we could have even, let's see, activated here. Wait, no, I want to go, let's say we went here. Let's say we drew it a little bit earlier on, right? We kind of have a point here, point here. So we were here, came up, down, up, didn't quite up, overshot, right? And just like when we do triangles, right, we see an overshoot of it, that usually is an indication that it's either a break in trend, or if it comes back in the channel, you'll get a move, right? So overshoot, back in, right? And then that was a nice move right there, 2662 to 2615, right? So nice 50-point move after it came back in the channel. And then it just kind of chopped around here, and then it hit the bottom of the channel, and then where did it go? Back up, right? So 2684 all the way to, almost 100 points right there, and it actually kind of sort of kept going each time it hit the channel. So then once it broke through, you look for an overshoot. Right here, it couldn't get back in the channel, and that's your idea. That's your retest of the channel and couldn't do it, right? And then it came back down. Okay, so channels are a really great way to tell, if for a change in trend or to trade within the channel, right? As long as it's moving in there. So we showed this, and I'll show you in a little bit. But here, let's just take a look here. So here we had like a channel going down, from that December kind of low. Then we had these two guys there, and look what happened, right? So we, so we started here, came down, up, down, up. And then once it hit the channel right here, you could short, right? So basically, so that's 2677 all the way down to 2530, right? So huge move right there. It came back, touched the channel again, rejected, boom, all the way to downside. Then what happened? Overshooted the channel. I'll remove this one so it doesn't get too confusing. Overshoot the channel, right? And then boom, back up. Okay, so didn't retest, broke in. That's your signal to go long, and there you go, all the way across the channel from 2376 all the way up to 2486. So another 100-point move right there, right? Broke out of the channel, came back in. Let's extend this to the right. Okay, no retest, and then boom, all the way up from there. So really tells you a change of trend. And we talked about this a little bit when we went through the Elliott wave series, because a lot of times big waves, like your impulsive waves, travel in channels. Okay, and so when the wave is done, right? When the wave is done, right? It's your break of your channel, right? So let's say that was wave 3 up, then boom, you have 4, 5, and then now, ABC correction, A, B, C, right? So just kind of it's a great way to look at trend and also to trade. So right now, in tonight's game plan when it goes out, we are going to we're going to look at Google. So Google has been trading within this channel here, right? And our pitchforks too actually represent channels too, and that's why we look at for pivot points near those, right? So here Google's been doing pretty good in this channel here, up, down, up. Every time it hits this channel, right, down, up, hits the channel down, up, can only get halfway. Now it hits the bottom of the channel right here, or forms the channel, right, up, halfway, down, hits again, way up, right, down, pivot, and it basically pivoted right here, and look where it did. Hit right down at the bottom of the channel again. So unless it just breaks down completely, right? And now it's at a key area, right? It's at a fib fan line. It's also at an Andrews pitchfork median line. So in my opinion, if it breaks above here, this 1185, I think we could get a pretty strong move. I'm not going to say it's going to go all the way up here to 1250, but it might at least make a shot at like the midpoint, somewhere around, let's say like 1200, 1215 or something like that. So that's going to be on the game plan for tomorrow, in case we catch a bid. Right now the futures are, kind of down, so we might be gapping down a little bit, but look to either see tomorrow if it reclaims the channel, right? If we're gapping down, if it reclaims the channel and gets back in. If not, if it tests it and goes back down, then we're short, right? And we've got, kind of some pretty good targets already, right? We've got this halfway point, which is also a fib fan line on the in the pitchfork. So that's all the way down to 1100, a very possible area. So this channel really gives you a lot of perspective and a lot of understanding of what's going on with price, and it gives you an idea, clues into the geometry of what the price is doing. So hopefully you find that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, feel free to plug those into the chat box, and we'll get to those as soon as possible. Awesome stuff. Nudie Poo, what's going on? AU, yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I had to reinstall my broadcaster tonight, and it took forever. Just kind of kept the computer going really slow. So, yeah, let's take a look at AU. Awesome. We kind of have a channel already, right? So the channel is the pitchfork gives us this automatic channel, which I really love these pitchforks. So what we've done is, let me actually go to the daily. Auto zoom. Okay, so gold's been just going crazy here, right? So so we had this move here at the pitchfork median line channel, down, up, break to the upside, overshoot, back in, down, overshoot, back in. Now it's below. So let's watch and see how it handles here. So if it can't hold any longer, maybe it'll come back up, retest. So maybe this 14 level. If it rejects there, then there's there's a possibility of course back down, some more downside move. What else we got here? Where's my volume profile? Where did that go? Oh, here we go. There it is. Good. So just so you can see, volume profile wise, where we are, we have volumetric support here, kind of that 1330 level. So if it does move down further, just look to see if it can hold support there. So hopefully find that helpful. Let's see. Prayer Kid, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. Great trades today. Awesome job. Netfry, what's going on, man? Hey, Netfry. Harvey, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope your trading is going great. Prayer Kid. Shirley, how's it going? Always a pleasure to see you. Let's see. Bargiv, how's it going? Thoughts on Facebook? Okay, so great. I'm glad you asked that. So this was a profile stock in the weekly newsletter. Of course, I always tweet out FANG stuff anyway, but I get into a little more detail. I mean, obviously futures are down, but if anything, that'll help get a pretty good entry. Maybe reclaiming, maybe it'll gap down below it and give us this 164 back again, right? Because we had this pennant right here, right at this Fibonacci fan line, which was drawn from the from the lows to that recent pivot high, and then it's been every time it's been hitting this fib fan line, it comes back down and hits. It's been really respecting these levels really well. So this pennant is no different. What I'm seeing here is this was maybe a conclusion to a wave 5, and then we had an A, B, C down, and it looks to me like we're working on an impulsive wave up. So we have 1, pullback 2, and this actually makes sense here. This was a mini wave 1, mini wave 2, and then I would expect to see another impulsive wave back up, at least testing this 171, 172 kind of level. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on Facebook on the long side here. So that's kind of what I've been seeing with Facebook. Obviously, it could reject those levels, could break down and go further, but I'm leaning on the bullish side just because of how it's been holding up since its earnings gap up. So, and it's been shaken off kind of this international, Euro, Sunum, and all that stuff. pretty well. So yeah, so that's my 2 cents on Facebook there. Let's see what else we got going on. Pritesh, what's going on, man? Views on Netflix. Yeah, so Netflix, that's actually going on the game plan tonight as a right. So we have this move up. So anytime you draw a trend line, look for a potential channel. Okay. So just because it could kind of maybe give you a different perspective on what the stock might be doing. So here, right, up, down, right, kind of, it's been really just hanging around that 360 area, right? And then it broke this. Here's with the first touch of the trend line, came back, touched it again. So it gave us a nice trend line here. And then this bar right here pushed below it, retested it, and is coming back down. Okay, so that's why I'm bearish. Based on our channel discussion today, that's why I'm bearish on Netflix. It did give a push down. Missed a nice move today. This was really the key day to catch that first move, right? Because it retested that level and rejected it, right, and then pushed to the downside. So at this point, you might see a little bit of consolidation tomorrow, and then another push to the downside. It might be a good swing short all the way down to this, kind of 316-ish level, which matches with volumetric and with the fib fan support. So to me, it's still looking pretty bearish. Obviously, you can do whatever it wants to, but today was the great move off of that retest to that channel, and then could have done really well with options today. Surely, yeah, CMG. So, kudos to Andrew for catching this one today. I mean, this thing has just been, unstoppable, really. Like I said the other day, it's too high up to chase, but I mean, it just keeps going, right? They recently got upgraded, somewhere back here where we caught the pennant long, so that was a nice long that we did have. Of course, we take profits and all that stuff, no big deal. Drawn a linear regression channel here. Kind of going up. So it's just kind of working its way up that linear regression channel. So I mean, it might pull back a little bit, but it's just ridiculous. It got upgraded too with a price target of 700, and who would have thought burritos would get to 700? But it's there. So unbelievable, right? I guess it's good that it's not priced higher than Amazon or something like that. But anyway, yeah, can't go. I mean, 851 is definitely possible. You guys, don't think it's not possible. So WPM. WPM, didn't really care about that. So, if we just kind of look at a couple of fibs here, it's been kind of, look at that, it's been working its way up here. These are another, type of channel as well, right? So these are Fibonacci, basically, fan channels, right? You can do megaphone type stuff. But anyway, so here it is right here. So it's into a little bit of resistance off of this Fibonacci, so just be careful that it might pull back. But if it can break through there, like you said, I think your levels are good. Avid. Wow, nice move there off of earnings. Really got through this this whole volumetric zone, right? So these volumetric zones give you a channel too. So those are horizontal channels. So you can see up, down, down, and then up, and then way up, right? So at this point, it was kind of doing a triangle here, right? See that? There, and then it broke to the upside. So, yeah, I mean, so that's pretty strong. A little consolidation, and then another move is very possible. TLT. Nice break of volumetric. Oh, it didn't quite break. Sorry, that was just the area there. Let me check this here. Trough to peak. Okay, doing very similar to the other one, right? Just watch this area. Might pull back, but if anything, it's got to get over that 127 level to go. But, yep, levels look okay. VZ. Yeah, good old Verizon. Wish I could fit that, squeeze that all in there. That looks just really interesting here. Boom. Look at that, how it held these Fibonacci's really well. Breakout, move. It looks a little bit extended, but I like this 2B reverse, bottom reversal here. And then it gave you that nice follow through there. Just watch that 61.58. Nice pivot point that it could break. But again, watching buying at highs is always a little bit risky, right? So, so just be careful there. FISV. Okay, yeah, so it's right there. Wow, it's kind of just putting in like an ascending, flag, type thing. But let's see. So let's see. We got here. Looking good there to that last pivot. Kind of held, moving up. But yeah, I mean, definitely looks. I mean, obviously is doing really strong. I want to draw a pitchfork here too. Just kind of see. So just be careful in that. When you get to 90, then it might not. It might kind of pull back a little bit. So, but it is holding that midline area of the pitchfork, right? That's kind of its zone, right? So So just watch there, kind of 90, then it might pull back, right? Give you just, likes to have a little bit of choppy action there. So careful with that one. What else? Jay, what's going on, man? Good to see you. ODP. Office Depot. Surely you always find the best penny stocks. Is Office Depot? I thought it was only Staples left. Didn't one of these guys buy the other one at one point? Did that deal ever go through? So, um, yeah. So just watch here. It got through this volumetric area. It's at fib. Might come back down, test, and then do your break. How long do you hold your stock? Nice, good question. DHI. I have to imagine that Shirley swings them. But here we go, Dear Heart, and I just saw that kind of rising wedge. So it did go in parabolic, like broke out of there, right? So would have been interesting to see a breakdown there, but I really like that. So just watch if it pulls back and holds at 41.49, then back to the upside. I think Lanier reported recently. Okay, that's not until the end of April. So far so good. I am seeing something here. Let's do a channel. Oh, okay. Right. Channel, undershoot, back up, undershoot, back up. Just make sure it's not an overshoot here. It might want to retest the bottom, but yeah, it's breaking out. And I said my guess is consolidation and then move just like you have. So that's good. Bruce, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Hope you had a good day today. Shirley, to your price target or your stop. Oh, cool, Shirley, you just hold on. That's awesome. How do you get vol sports? All right, Netfry, awesome question. Oh, you use Yahoo? Yeah, I mean, what's really, basically we had that whole session on volume profile. I can type it in here. Let's see. Let's see. Netfry, I'm going to put it in the chat box there. So this is a prior video on volume profile. You're welcome to watch it. But basically, quick answer to it. So you just go studies, right? Then you go edit studies, or you can just go add study. And I think you would go. I mean, you can go all studies alphabetical. Just go V, and then volume profile right there, and you add it. There's a couple customizations that you can do to it. You can go on expand, right? It's no, and then you can change your opacity. But I like how it builds in. It finds like these really key levels of the volume profiles and automatically puts it here on the right side. So that gives you some really key levels to look at. And that's where I get some volumetric levels for the SPX, right? So I take them off a SPY and I just kind of translate them over. So they're really good for just kind of seeing where the big volume levels are. Now it changes, of course, dynamically based on your time frame, right? So if you're on a 5-minute time frame, they're going to be different, right? But in general, it's nice to see kind of where the big time frame moves are. And I like having that volume profile there so you can see the air pockets. So you got a big air pocket right in here, so you can usually get like a nice little squeeze through that air pocket, volume air pocket, and then it moves. So that is that. It surely does rock. Cheers. How's everybody's good? LOL. I would think she does too. She has no fear. I'm working. I know she's awesome. Bruce, that's really cool. I mean, I wish I could just kind of sit back and trade and watch everything go. But I'm just so like, do it now. Let's go. Bruce, back wife said, put in your earbud, please. Nice. I know, I'm sorry, Bruce. I get a little loud. Thanks, BH. I have TOS, but never use it. We'll watch that video. Awesome, man. Yeah. I love having volume profile. It really helps, especially with, if you're doing some scalping intraday, right? So I'll use it on the, I tweeted a while back, on a Friday, we found a really good lotto, on, Friday lotto on NVIDIA. And, let's just take a look at Apple. Let's pull Apple up real quick. So if you go a couple, I know it's really hard to see. I know this is really messy, but you can see this red line right here. This is the volume profile line here for Apple. Okay, and then let's see if I can find the high. Yeah, so here's the high right here, and the low is kind of way down there. But look how this look how it was held, right? So we gapped up today, right? We pushed down, and what do? We hammered right on that volume profile and then back up. Right, so these are really key areas of supply and demand, right? You'll hear out there, right? But support resistance, right? So it went down to volumetric support, right? So I mean there was a lot of stops, there's a lot of volume there, a lot of people that are or algos or whatever that are saying buy, and so boom, it went back up from there. So to have this as part of your day trading strategy, I think is really really good, and kind of really gives you a quick idea of levels, and it's really nice that TOS provides that. So instead of just translating everything over, so it's good stuff. Pritesh, what's going on? It's like Amazon. Amazon just been doing awesome. Like I said yesterday, we'd probably get some consolidation today. And let's just take a look at why. right? Because we know that things don't move up or down in straight lines, right? They move in waves. And so, so what do we have here? We had, thank you for bringing that up too, because I had a really great channel in it too. And you can channel, on shorter time frames, guys. Um, longer time frames, whatever the case is. I mean, like, you don't want to go crazy, but I mean, you could go, here was a channel down. I mean, here's a channel, right? And when these other channels, right, that's a bull flag, right? Right. You could do, other ones here, right? There's a, right, kind of another channel up breaks the channel on the downside. So anyway, it's a lot of channels, uh, but what we did have, we had this, kind of longer range channel, right? The longer the better, right? The longer the trend, the better, right? The bigger the break. And so when it finally broke here, right, kind of in the fib area, give us a nice push to the upside. Now it's kind of coming back in. I'm thinking the Amazon is that, look, we have this double top here, or this RSI bearish divergence, right? I do think it might want to come back and retest maybe that 1685 level before it goes back up again. So I think it's, overall pretty bullish, but, it does look like it wants to retest, because once you have a big move like that, sort of like a big move like this, right? It comes back in. Big move up, comes back in, or chops for a little bit. So I would like to see it just kind of pull back here and then go, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing on Amazon. Prayer Kid, do you know about deviation levels? One of your long-time strategies. We'll have to do a video on that one, or we can get you as a guest host. So that would be pretty cool too. But appreciate you bringing that up, man. That's awesome. Definitely one for another time. Awesome, Nefra. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I think it was good. We covered channels. We covered, Bollinger channels, Kelt channels, talked about Donchian channels, and then trend channels, and also horizontal channels. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. Some great chart requests and good stuff. Anybody new who's new to the subscription service, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. I think you're getting a lot of value at it. We have we do a private video that we review trades. We have a free room where there's trade alerts that has been really successful. Great newsletter with great ideas. And so feel free to go to positive-trends.com/newsletter.html, or just click on the link at positive-trends.com and subscribe. And I really appreciate you guys, and have a great night. Awesome. Thanks so much. Talk to you guys later, and we'll tweet out game plan and all that other good free stuff too. All right, talk to you later. Bye.